The show begins with Sang-hyuk, a handsome man, standing on a rooftop, ready to shoot a man and a woman leaving a restaurant. Using his excellent sniper skills, he shoots them both with arrows that make them instantly fall in love. At Sang-hyuk's place, there are 3 more cupids, one of whom is turned into a dog. One cupid scolds Dong-gu for not shooting the arrows properly, which prevents them from returning to their normal lives. They all turn their attention to Sang-hyuk during their argument, leading to a flashback. In the flashback, Dang-chil misses shooting a cupid arrow, and Sang-hyuk protects a court lady from real arrows by taking them all in his back. This act burns their cupid wings, and Dang-chil turns into a dog. To restore their wings, they must make the arrow regain its golden color. Later that night, 2 cupids believe that the court lady has been reborn in different forms. The next day, at an animal clinic, Mr. Ander proposes to Bak Ryan. However, her staff discusses how every man she dates ends up getting hurt. In a flashback, we learn about Bak Ryan's past relationships, where her boyfriends got hurt or died. This led her to stop dating, and she's been lonely since then, exacerbated by being an orphan. Meanwhile, Bak Ryan is on a mountain seeking forgiveness from a deity. In another flashback, she and her friend visit a tarot leader who reveals that she committed a grave sin in her past life and must seek forgiveness. The tarot leader instructs her to go to the mountain, face the east side, and ask for mercy for 1,000 days to meet a man who will change the future. As they leave, the tarot leader predicts 3 people dead and several injured. They witness an accident with 3 deaths, as predicted. When Bak Ryan returns, the man is missing and a lady claims to be the owner. Right now, Bak Ryan is coming down from the mountain, and she meets Sang-hyuk, who looks really charming to her. She even wonders why Sang-hyuk looks better than her. Sang-hyuk goes to the same place where Bak Ryan was seeking forgiveness and seems lost in thought. He's talking to a little boy who asks him what love is. According to Sang-hyuk, love is a curse, and he advises the boy to love when he gets older. Meanwhile, Bak Ryan is thinking about whether Mr. Right really exists. She's having a meal with her friend and mentions that she has hiked the mountain 993 times. Bak Ryan feels lonely up there, but her friend suggests they go together so she can see Bak Ryan's future man for the 1,000th time. At the same time, Sang-hyuk and his cupid friends, including Dang-chil, visit the love room where ladies are fascinated by the dog. They are taken care of by a man whose ancestors passed down the job to care for cupids. His grandfather told him to work behind the scenes and make sure cupids are always safe because they are responsible for their family's wealth. By shooting cupid arrows, people randomly fall in love and someone suddenly becomes attractive. This is how cupids have lived for 500 years among humans. The scene changes to the animal clinic where Bak Ryan is checking on dogs. Meanwhile, a young man is crying over a woman named Yoon-sol, who broke up with him. Sang-hyuk consoles him, saying she's not the woman of his life. He tells the man that he is closer to his destiny and should hang in there. This leaves the man shocked, wondering who Sang-hyuk is. Sang-hyuk tells his fellow cupids that he's in the mountain again. Dong-gu gets angry, reminding Sang-hyuk that he's not supposed to work and should always cook for them. As Sang-hyuk gets ready to leave, he finds out that someone has parked their car in front of his. He checks the owner in a nearby restaurant, where he meets a drunk Bak Ryan. When Bak Ryan sees Sang-hyuk, she becomes happy and calls him honey. Unfortunately, she collapses beside him, and the hotel owner asks Sang-hyuk to carry her and pay the bill. Sang-hyuk carries Bak Ryan, and the owner comes out to move the car. Meanwhile, a woman is looking for her dog and finds it sniffing the ground, discovering dead bodies. The police figure out that the bodies belong to the missing women with polka dots from 1993. Jongnan and Da-hee's remains are found where Sang-hyuk often visited the mountain. On the other hand, Bak Ryan wakes up in a police station where Sang-hyuk left her because he didn't know what to do with her. Sang-hyuk gets a call about Jong-ah and goes to the National Forensic Service Center. He learns that evidence was severely damaged, but he remembers his last moment with Jong-ah through a flashback. He recalls the white scarf she always had and is sad to find out she was kidnapped and buried in the woods where he often passed by. He breaks down, realizing he couldn't save the woman he loved. After her mountain visit that evening, Bak Ryan goes to the restaurant to find out what happened that night. The owner tells her about the man, but Bak Ryan can't remember who he was. She makes friends with Yoon-seo at the restaurant, and they talk about love and fate. As Sang-hyuk goes home, he sees a man abandoning his dog on the road. He stops the car, shoots him, and the man is reborn as a good person who takes his dog back. The next day, the animal clinic staff gives Bak Ryan a ticket to a cupid exhibition, similar to the one Sang-hyuk received from his carer. That night, Sang-hyuk and Bak Ryan meet at the exhibition and remember the night he took her to the police station. However, Bak Ryan curses cupids, saying she's unlucky in love. She expresses a desire to feel loved and wishes for just one love cupid arrow. In their conversation, she realizes Sang-hyuk was the one who took her to the police station. He notices she doesn't have the red thread when he scans her. Back Ryan tells him not to fall in love with her to avoid getting hurt. She starts smelling him because he smells nice, and they share passionate eye contact. News channels report that a 40-year-old nurse named Eun is missing. She was talking to Back Ryan at the restaurant. On December 21st at 11:15 p.m., CCTV shows her leaving McJolly's place, but she vanished on her way to the public parking lot where she had parked her car. There are 4 cameras, but the one facing the parking lot didn't work that night. They later see a man following her. Detective Jae-hee takes charge of the case to find the culprits. They also find out that Eun had an affair with a married man. The restaurant owner says Eun was a regular customer but always paid with cash. The police find footage of Sang-hyuk with a cupid gun and trace the car owner. Surprisingly, the car owner reveals that Sang-hyuk saved his dog, Elizabeth. Back at the cupid exhibition, Sang-hyuk stops Baek Ryan from smelling him. The boy is still upset that Baek Ryan called cupids bastards, but she quickly corrects him, saying he misheard her. As Baek Ryan walks away, she realizes her heart is beating fast. She meets Sang-hyuk in the parking lot and notices the fast heartbeat again. On her way home, she gets a call from the clinic about an emergency. Meanwhile, Sang-hyuk has been following her and learns she works in a clinic opposite to where he takes Dang-chil. At the same time, Jae-hee arrests the married man, and after thorough questioning, he realizes the man didn't kill Eun-seo. The bloodstained skirt in his car was for Eun-seo, but he didn't harm her. They had a fight, but he got her a new skirt. The real estate couple claims the man they saw was shorter and slimmer. Sang-hyuk waits outside until Baek Ryan finishes the operation. At home, Baek Ryan is happy because she gave the dog a second chance to live. But when she thinks about Sang-hyuk, her heart beats really fast. On the other hand, Sang-hyuk is still wondering why Baek Ryan doesn't have a red thread like other people. Somewhere else, Sang-hyuk dreams of Baek Ryan calling him Mr. Superman. He's tied up, and she warns him not to fall in love with her. She tells Sang-hyuk to stay alive to save her. Sang-hyuk wakes up and finds Dong-chil in human form. In the morning, Sang-hyuk makes breakfast for his cupid friends. Meanwhile, detectives question the cupid carer about Sang-hyuk, but he won't give information. He tells them to ask the car's owner and says Sang-hyuk can't hurt anyone. The next day, Detective Jae-hee and the police search the mountain for Eun-seo's body. He learns about his boss's death and stops the search for the funeral. The detective finds out that his boss's dog survived the accident and a vet saved it. Whenever Baek Ryan thinks about Sang-hyuk, her heart beats fast. The smell reminds her of playing under plum trees as a little girl. At the office, her staff tells her that she remembers the scent because she loves the guy. Meanwhile, Jae-hee visits the clinic and is fascinated by Baek Ryan. Back at home, Sang-hyuk is still bothered by why Baek Ryan doesn't have a red thread. Soon, Dong-chil dresses up to meet his girlfriend, Mija, even though they haven't seen each other in 6 months. Mija is happy to see him again, but before they can kiss, Dong-chil turns into a dog, leaving Mija angry and using strong words. He goes back home upset. Baek Ryan's competitors at the pet clinic are upset because they lost Amber to her, and now Sang-hyuk has joined her clinic too. Baek Ryan is happy to see Sang-hyuk with Dang-chil, calling her pretty. They get a call at the clinic, and they learn that the pet's parents died in an accident. The staff is worried about who will adopt the dog. Jae-hee says he will adopt it, but other pet parents doubt if he can handle being a pet parent with his busy detective job. Meanwhile, a stranger comes to the Mountain Valley restaurant, scaring the owner. Later, the hotel is on fire, and the police and fire brigade come to put out the fire. Back at the clinic, Baek Ryan and Jae-hee discuss how he will adopt the dog. Baek Ryan is unsure if he can care for the pet with his busy detective job. However, Jae-hee promises to be a good pet parent and asks Baek Ryan to keep an eye on him to make sure he's a good guardian. Sang-hyuk has been watching them, and Dang-chil says the detective is flirting with Baek Ryan. When it's Sang-hyuk's turn for his pet's checkup, he scolds Baek Ryan for flirting with men. He claims that's how the clinic gets many male guardians. He mainly asks about Jae-hee and why they were laughing. It's clear that Sang-hyuk is getting jealous. He leaves her office saying Dang-chil needs grooming. Meanwhile, Jae-hee arrives at the burnt hotel and sadly finds the owner dead. He also learns that Ta-kwon, the real estate owner, is dead. It's not a coincidence that both witnesses died on the same day. Jae-hee remembers there's one witness left, Baek Ryan. On the other hand, Sang-hyuk is outside the animal clinic waiting for Baek Ryan, but he gets distracted. The guy following Baek Ryan we think is the same person who burned the hotel and killed Ta-kwon. Luckily, Sang-hyuk arrives in time and fights the mysterious guy to protect Baek Ryan just like he dreamed. She is surprised that Sang-hyuk didn't get hurt at all. All the men in her life always get hurt, but Sang-hyuk is different. Baek Ryan checks if Sang-hyuk is hurt. She's happy to see him unharmed, and because she's excited, she hugs and pecks him on the cheeks, surprising him. However, she quickly comes back to her senses and asks about the man who attacked her. Sang-hyuk thinks he might be stalking her because she's popular. He warns Baek Ryan not to use the shortcut through a dark alley, especially at night. She also asks him why he's there. He lies for a similar reason as she had said. Baek Ryan brings Sang-hyuk along to check if they're meant to be. Sang-hyuk chooses authentic beef tripe, and Baek Ryan says she chose it too. Both of them keep lying until they can't do it anymore. Baek Ryan thanks him for saving her and says goodbye as she goes to meet her friend. Baek Ryan shares her encounter with Mr. Superman and how he wasn't hurt. She thinks he might be the man the tarot leader told her about. But her friend tells her to finish the 1,000th hike to the mountain, and she'll find her man after that. Although Baek Ryan has 6 more hikes left, she believes the deity gave her the man before time could run out. However, her friend reminds her to visualize the man she wants and tell the god what she wants in a man when she goes to the deity. The scene shifts to the police station, where detectives check bus footage to identify the woman who was with Im Seo that night. It turns out to be Baek Ryan, but they haven't identified her yet. They notice she had a floral umbrella, but Jae-hee realizes she left it on the bus. On the other hand, Baek Ryan gets a bit tipsy and plays around with her friends, who complain that she kisses people when she's drunk. Back at home, Sang-hyuk finds the house in a mess. Dang-chil is upset because Sang-hyuk ordered him to have an anal sack, which is a double traumatic experience after his encounter with Meija. Sang-hyuk also realizes he has a scratch on his face, though Baek Ryan had said he didn't have a scratch. The next day, Baek Ryan hikes the mountain and tells the deity about her ideal man, mentioning Sang-hyuk. She even suggests bringing a photo to avoid confusion. On her way down, she finds the hotel burnt down the previous night and the owner died. While there, she sees Jae-hee and leaves. Meanwhile, the detective is told that the restaurant owner suffocated. Even though she used to take sleeping pills, Detective Jae-hee thinks someone might have drugged her before burning down the restaurant. Meanwhile, the detective and his team start looking for a lady with a floral umbrella. On the other hand, Baek Ryan realizes she doesn't have a photo of Sang-hyuk, which she needs for the mountain. So she comes up with the idea of having a picture of pet guardians. However, the staff thinks it's a bad idea as people might not want to share personal information. Baek Ryan calls Sang-hyuk, telling him that Dang-chil needs a medical checkup, especially for his anal sac. She also mentions that the dog is overweight. She hopes this will make Sang-hyuk come to the clinic so she can get a photo. But Sang-hyuk declines and she's worried he'll gossip about her during breakfast. Elsewhere, Sang-hyuk and the cupids are having breakfast and tell Dang-chil that they'll visit the clinic. At the clinic, Jae-hee says that Sang-hyuk looks familiar and promises he won't forget him when they meet again. Jae-hee plans to get into the office, but Sang-hyuk tells him to wait in line like everyone else. The pet parents ask him to show his ticket number, but he gets to the office before them because he has an appointment. Sang-hyuk is surprised to learn that they are planning their appointments. When it's Dang-chil's turn, Baek Ryan informs Sang-hyuk that the dog is overweight, weighing over 36. She also notices that Sang-hyuk has a scratch and taps him on the injured part, which clears up. Meanwhile, considering the 3 things her roommate told her, she goes to the Love Room restaurant for a dinner date with Sang-hyuk. She was first told to pay the bill, but the restaurant's menu seems out of her budget. She also wonders why the injury on Sang-hyuk disappeared quickly after applying an ointment. Sang-hyuk says the Love Room restaurant is famous for blind dates. The scene continues with Baek Ryan enjoying the meal but still wondering how much it will cost. She recalls the second thing her roommate told her was to be a good listener. During her talk, Sang-hyuk asks Baek Ryan if she likes any pet guardians who come to the clinic. For every man she mentions, she finds a reason not to date them. This upsets Sang-hyuk, who tells her that her standards are too high, making it harder for her to find a lover. Baek Ryan asks him why he doesn't form connections with people or if he's afraid of falling in love. She tells Sang-hyuk that people often give up their lives for love, mentioning she learned this from watching TV shows. As she goes to pay, the receptionist tells her that Sang-hyuk has already paid. Baek Ryan is upset because she wanted to treat Sang-hyuk. At home, both Sang-hyuk and Baek Ryan can't sleep. Sang-hyuk says he can't shoot her with a cupid arrow. Baek Ryan is back on the mountain and is more specific about the man she wants but forgot to bring a photo. Meanwhile, Dong-chil tells the cupids that Sang-hyuk went to dinner with a vet woman. They're shocked that they even switched clinics for Sang-hyuk to see the lady. In a flashback, Sang-hyuk says he's always amazed by human inequality. He can't understand why ladies couldn't laugh at Dong-pal's jokes. Jama's parents are devastated that her killers are still not found. On the other hand, Sang-hyuk is sad that he couldn't save the woman he loved. Elsewhere, Baek Ryan comes down from the mountain and meets Sang-hyuk along the way. She's happy and calls him Superman, taking a photo of him. Sang-hyuk is uncomfortable with Baek Ryan taking pictures, and as he tries to grab the phone to delete them, they accidentally kiss. A man passing by pushes her, and Sang-hyuk holds her to prevent her from falling. On the other hand, Detective Jae and his colleague are waiting near the parking lot to see if a lady with a floral umbrella appears. Coincidentally, Sang-hyuk and Baek Ryan pass by the same area, with Baek Ryan telling him that the lady was a good person. In a hotel, she talks about how the tarot leader told her to hike the mountain 1,000 times to seek forgiveness for what she did in the past. Then the gods will give her a man of her future. Jae gets another lead to find the lady with a floral umbrella, while Sang-hyuk identifies the stalker who wanted to attack Baek Ryan in the alley.